What up, everybody? This is Chef, New Zealand Murder History Podcast. Coming to you live from Greymouth. You see this place we're looking at right now? This is part of Grey Central, but it's pretty much on the Blaketown border. Anyway, this place is the old red light district of Greymouth. It was also the old Chinese district. It was pretty cool back in the day. You had Chinese people, gambling, prostitution, people smoking a bit of opium, stuff like that, you know. And a lot of the people in Greymouth, well, they used to talk bad about the Chinese, say they didn't like the Chinese, but then at night time, they'd come and gamble with the Chinese. Hook up with a Chinese girl, you know, that kind of thing. Anyway, isn't history wonderful? How's everyone doing out there? See if I can get this camera at a good angle here. Alrighty, yeah, looks good. Disclaimer, this podcast is not intended to offend anybody. It's just a story. Actually, it's not just a story, it's a true story. It's a sad story. But I don't mean to offend the victim or even the killer or anyone in this case. This is just for educational purposes. Anyone who's feeling, you know, maybe a little bit down, don't watch this podcast. It's very sad. Also, my show is not suitable for children. Alright, let's kick it. Allison Mcphee was 42 years old when she got murdered in Newtown Park, Wellington. Let's just set the scene for a minute. Newtown Park Flats is not a good place. And when I say it's not a good place, I mean the vibe of it is bad. Now, I used to live in one of those flats in Newtown Park Flats, and I don't want to come across like I'm complaining because the flat itself was okay, you know. I mean, it stopped me being homeless. It housed me. It was a flat. It was alright, but the vibe of that whole area is not good. Most of Wellington City is pretty safe. Not that safe, but, you know. Centre of town, anyway, is considered safe. Newtown Park is probably the dodgiest part of the centre of town. Yeah, I'd say it is. In Newtown Park Flats, well, wow. Anyway, you get the picture. She got found dead in Newtown Park Flats in Mansfield Street. E block it was. Same block I used to live at. I didn't much like the place, but still, it sounds like my time there was better than Allison Mcphee's. Allison moved to New Zealand with her family at age 4 from Dundee, Scotland. She was a hyperactive child who would be diagnosed with a mental health condition. I'm not sure which one. Whatever the condition, she struggled to look after her own 2 kids. Her family would help out a bit, but, you know, she just couldn't do it. Allison moved around a lot. Christchurch, Hawke's Bay, Wellington, Lower Hutt. Allison probably never pictured herself living in city council flats. One night, the neighbour heard loud shouting and a man threatening to kill Allison. He went to investigate, but by the time he got there, it had all quietened down. So he left it. And I, for one, don't blame him. I mean, you know, you used to hear domestic violence in council flats all the time, you know. I mean, you can set your watch to it. How did life go so wrong for the Scottish girl from Dundee? 42 years old, she's lost custody of the kids, domestic violence, council flats. Allison Mcphee would be found dead 28th of July 2010 by a friend of hers who dropped in to see her. She was worried about her and she managed to break the door down or bust the lock and open the door. Allison was behind the front door with a hoodie draped over her head. Cops said she died 3 to 5 days before that. Her boyfriend, 53-year-old John Hone Haurewa, would get done for the murder. He beat her badly with a leg off a wooden chair. I think he actually smashed her with the chair. The leg broke off, and then he picked up the chair leg and finished the job with that, because I've read other things that said she was beaten to death with a broken chair, but it seems like he used the wooden leg off the chair. Anyway. Then he wrote a note saying, "Gone to Featherston with Hone, back Tuesday." And he stuck it on the front door. Inside the flat, he wrote, "Die, you effing narc." Now this is interesting because Hone would plead not guilty. It didn't work though. His bloody fingerprints were on the chair leg. Her blood on his pants and boots. Well, he got 17 years non-parole period for that. His lawyer would question another lady, a friend of Allison's, accusing her of the murder. The woman in question was found guilty of assault with intent to injure from a time where she assaulted Allison Mcphee. I'm actually not going to name her, well, because she obviously didn't kill Allison. I mean, it's not great that she assaulted Allison, but anyway, the blood-stained fingerprints on the murder weapon, I mean, that's the major piece of evidence that pointed to her on and off again boyfriend. But anyway, as the story goes, Allison called the cops on a lady friend of hers that she'd been friends with for 7 years. I'm not sure what the original dispute was about, but she called the cops, and her friend gave her the bash. And that's why John Hone Hauera wrote, "Die, you effing narc," on the wall above Allison's body. He was trying to stitch her friend up. I mean, usually I would actually name this lady for the sake of the story, but her and Allison had actually said sorry to each other and they'd made friends. So I won't. Plus, she'd done a week in Arahata Women's Prison, and she got probation and, some other things like that for the assault. Anyway. Yeah, it's just a short case today. That's the story. It's the story of what happened to Allison Mcphee from Dundee. From Dundee to Newtown Park. I wonder how things would have gone for her if she'd just stayed in Scotland. Her main problems were she had a health condition that meant she did not fit in. Also, she had bad taste in men. Allison Mcphee was house-proud. Her place was always tidy. She smoked cigarettes and a bit of marijuana on payday. Well, that's it. That's my show. Yeah, it's got some references I used to make this one. New Zealand Herald article, 9th of August 2011. Woman convicted of bashing victim rejects murder claim. Otago Daily Times, the 3rd of August 2011. Accused had threatened murder victim. Witness, and then that one's available on www.odt.co.nz. So yeah. Yeah, Newtown Park, I don't know. It's not really my thing. Probably prefer it here in Grey, really. There was another murder on that Manfield Street. I think it was the year before, or possibly shortly before Allison Mcphee got murdered. There's a halfway house there for, people with mental health problems, people who just got out of jail, stuff like that. And yeah, this dude apparently was causing a ruckus, huffing glue, hassling people, knocking on people's doors late at night. This other bloke who just got police bail to that address, well, he wasn't happy about it, but he didn't go out and confront the bloke right away. He had to wait until 6 in the morning for them to unlock the kitchen. He was taking a planned out, methodical approach to the revenge for disrespect, you know. Waited for the staff to unlock the kitchen in the morning, went and grabbed a knife, stabbed up this bloke who was, well, you know, making a scene, allegedly. Yeah, Mansfield Street, Newtown Park. What can you do? Alright, well, that's it. That's my show.